Credit company FICO says it'll soon incorporate your buy now, pay later purchases into how it calculates your credit score. The buy now, pay later programs have surged in popularity over recent years. The total amount of loans issued is projected to rise to $108 billion this year. Joining us to share more on the program.
Yeah, boy, that is crazy. Whole bunch of y'all are using this buy now, pay later stuff, and it is about to bite y'all in the ass because now they're going to start reporting to credit bureaus. It's not going to directly be like on your FICO score, but what they're doing is they're making a separate FICO score specifically for buy now, pay later services. But all in all, it will affect your original FICO score. So there's a lot of people that are going to get screwed over this.
And its potential impact to your credit is money coach Lynette Calfani-Cox. Lynette, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's a great time to talk about this because this is hugely important to people's finances.
Yeah, so for people not familiar with this program, Buy Now, Pay Later, talk to us about what it is and why it's so attractive to so many people.
Sure. Well, buy now, pay later is a short-term financing option that gives people the ability to pay for products, services, everything from groceries nowadays to travel, household furniture over time. And so you typically pay in what's called pay in four installments. And those might be over the course of a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And people really like this because unlike using a credit card, if you do stick to the payment terms and pay it off over a couple of weeks, you don't have to pay any interest. And it's often done right there at the point of sale if you're in store or online. So it's a flexible payment option that increasingly, as you mentioned, a lot of consumers are using.
And look, there are pros and there are cons to this program.
No question about that. For the past year, I don't know, I feel like I've been I hope I'm not called Chicken Little on this saying the sky is falling, but I've been warning so many people about overextending themselves with buy now, pay later, because it is very easy to get into trouble with this financing method. And we've already seen the data from a number of studies showing that typically, a lot of younger people are using buy now, pay later. A lot of people who have already had financial setbacks in their lives. They've maxed out the credit cards. They've gone through a divorce. They've had, a job layoff or had their hours reduced. And so now they're relying increasingly on this form of credit just to get by. I mentioned people being able to use it for food, for groceries, for DoorDash deliveries, and more. So that tells you the increased usage and the ways in which, if you're not careful, you can get into trouble.
Yes, and as soon as they introduced being able to use buy now, pay later at Walmart for grocery stores and DoorDash so you can get as much food as you want, I knew it was going to be an issue because the vast majority of people don't even remember what they had for breakfast. Not at all. You think they're going to remember that they had a payment? Not at all. Because all this stuff does is it keeps adding up and adding up and adding up until your account is zero, and then you go into collections.
Lynette, is this the modern day, the 2025 version of what we used to have, the program called layaway? Remember back in the days when we would purchase something?
Yeah, no, this is not like layaway, because what happens with layaway is that you wanted a product, you had to pay installment payments on the product, and then you get to have the product. With buy now, pay later, you just get the product right away. I actually tried buy now, pay later. I don't remember if I even had to make the first month payment. Don't remember, even though I am paying it, but I don't remember if I made a first payment on whatever I got from buy now, pay later. And that's the problem. People tend to forget what they got, especially if it's like some type of food item. Once you get the food, it's done. I don't remember if I got have to make a payment on the food that I bought last week or a month ago. I don't remember, no one remembers this stuff. And the vast majority of people who are delinquent on these buy now, pay later loans are Gen Z millennials and women, specifically low income women, which makes sense since women are the biggest consumers in this country and they are the most advertised too. So yes, women and younger millennials and Gen Z are the ones that are delinquent majority on these buy now pay later loans. 41%, 41% are not paying their buy now pay later loans. And this is what happens when you make debt so accessible to people who don't have the means of paying it. They don't pay it.
Could pay for it
My
later.
mother was a layaway queen.
Absolutely,
when I was growing
absolutely.
up. And so it's a bit akin to layaway, but very different in a lot of ways as well. The similarity is, the ability to kind of pay over time, but the big difference is with buy now, pay later, you get the stuff you want right up front.
Yes.
So with layaway,
You would have to wait,
I remember
yeah.
my mom doing it for holiday season, for Christmas and stuff like that. You pay over several months, and then in December you'd get the merchandise. But no, with buy now, pay later, or BNPL, you can actually take possession of the item right now, or experience whatever it is you want, whether that's a trip, travel, or whatever, and then pay for that over time. So that's a key distinction. But from a credit standpoint, this is, been a big issue in recent years, because before now, buy now, pay later wasn't really accounted for on people's credit reports. And you have a lot of buy now, pay later providers like Affirm, Klarna, Afterpay, etc., who are going to be reporting to the credit bureau. Certainly Affirm is right out on front doing this now with FICO, Fair Isaac Corporation. And, a lot of consumers, of course, have heard about their FICO credit scores. If you miss a payment on your buy now, pay later obligation, you really need to know that that can ding you, just like if you missed a credit card payment or a mortgage or an auto loan or a student loan, and that can have negative ramifications. So one of the cautions that I'm suggesting to our audience here in the Houston area is that you need to keep track of all of your buy now, pay later obligations. A lot of people have 5, 8, 10 or so outstanding at a time, and these will now start to be reported to the credit bureaus. And so if you're late, yes, you can find that your credit score drops. In the credit scoring system under FICO, a single missed payment under the traditional model, a single missed payment can lower your credit score by 100 points. So
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. Lower your credit score by 100 points. And also, most people don't realize this, but your credit score actually affects all your interest rates across every loan that you have, and your car insurance. Yes, your car insurance is affected by your credit score, which I don't understand why it is, but that's just the way they do things. So there are a lot of people who are going to be financially screwed because they're taking all these trips that they can't afford to go on. They have all these buy now, pay later loans. Student loan repayments just restarted, and they are tanking people's credit scores. And I'm pretty sure it's to the point where people just really don't care about it anymore. Most of y'all have things you can't afford: the houses, the cars. You already got the things that you need credit for. You don't really need credit to get a car, but either way, still you have those things already. So impacts on your credit score really don't matter, except when it comes to your insurance, because that could really raise your insurance a lot.
So you don't want to mess around with this at all. They're going to have a specific buy now, pay later score called FICO 10 BNPL. And so, it won't be adopted all at once, and lenders will have the option, credit grantors will have the option to be able to choose which of the FICO scores they're looking at when they're assessing a consumer's credit behavior. But just know that you have to take those buy now, pay later obligations just as seriously as you would any other debt or any other obligation you have.
Okay, all good information, Lynette. Thank you so much for your time.
So yes, basically, when you give broke people access to debt, what happens? They get more broker, basically. So let me know what you guys think about this in comments below. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and see you guys next time.